I have had many similar questions from my viewers, and here is my response. Let me start here. God values people more than institutions. Marriage is sacred, yes, absolutely so. But it's only sacred because it's meant to reflect God's love, God's character, and His healing presence in our lives. A covenant marriage is not just a legal agreement, it is a mutual, voluntary bond of love, of trust, and of unity. You see that in Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. God designed marriage so that two would become one flesh. And that one flesh, that oneness, is about emotional and physical safety, physical closeness, intimacy, and spiritual connection. When abuse, whether it's physical, emotional, verbal, or spiritual, when abuse enters the picture and continues long term, that covenant is being violated. I want to be clear. God does not ask anyone to remain in a relationship that destroys them. Now, some may ask, well, what about Malachi chapter 2, verse 16? And it says, I hate divorce. That's what God says. But if you read that passage in context, it actually says God hates when the sacredness of that marriage is violated. When a man covers his wife with violence or treat divorce as a legal means to marry another woman, that destroys the sacredness of marriage. Now, God is not banning divorce in Malachi 2:16. What He hates is the breaking of that covenant love, whether it's through adultery or abuse in this instance, or betrayal. God hates the damage it causes to His children. Now look at Jesus. He allowed divorce in case of sexual immorality, Matthew 19:9. But that wasn't meant to be an exhaustive list. It was addressing the common issues of that day. Abuse, by its very nature, is a violation of God's design for marriage and for relationship. It breaks trust, it breaks safety, and it breaks love. And it breaks unity, which is the very foundation of the covenantal marriage. Love only grows in freedom and safety. Where there is fear, where there is control or cruelty, love cannot flourish. Staying in such a situation may preserve the legal form of marriage, but it denies the life-giving substance of what God had intended marriage to be. So is divorce for long-term abuse biblical? If we are faithful to the spirit of the covenant, the answer is yes, it's biblical. God permits separation when the covenant has already been shattered, not by the person seeking safety, but by the one doing the harm. God's heart is always healing, restoring, and peaceful. Sometimes that peace comes through reconciliation, but sometimes it comes through release. And if that is you or someone you know, hear this. God sees you, He values your life, and He never asks you to endure abuse in silence, especially when the covenantal marriage is already shattered.